color right here on whatsoever platform that you have. Where we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on YouTube. It's Dr. Mother Love coming in with cool TLC. Where you at, baby? Come on. We're gonna talk about rumors, lies, and innuendo. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, he's gonna be coming in. Rumors, lies, and innuendo. How many times have you been lied on? People started a rumor about you. People start spreading lies on you. And how do you deal with that? And especially when you know you didn't do it, or you didn't say it, or you did do it and you did say it, and people are calling you out on it. That could be the picture. That could be what's happening. Okay. Oh, there we are. Hello, darlings. There we are, my darlings. So, okay, can we move this down? Just don't tip the computer. Hi, babies. It's the even more fabulous. Yes, I'm fabulous. And how many times or has it happened to you? Especially in the workplace. There's rumors and lies and innuendos going on, around the families, and families keep secrets and tell lies on one another, and you really don't find out what's going on until maybe you're at the repast or after somebody passes away, and then all the stuff comes out, and you got to try to clean that mess up. You got to try to find out how are you going to manipulate through this when people have been lying on you, or people have been lying to you your whole life. Find out that all of it's been a lie, all of it. Hey, cool TLC. Oh, okay, there he is. No, you gotta hit that button. And right there.
What's up?
Hey, what's up with ya, baby?
What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? What's popping off? I see 3 people.
You see 3 people. Oh, you so silly. We talking about rumors, lies, and innuendo, and how that these lies and innuendos and rumors can literally ruin people's lives. And other people don't, think it's any big deal. There's a German word for wanting to see people in peril and all unhappy and in a disarray called Schadenfreude. That means I glory in your misery. And some people just kind of seem to like that. You see them coming, and you know that it's gonna be some sugar honey iced tea as soon as they open up their mouth and start talking.
Right. Harold Floyd. Wait a minute, what you say it was? Harold Floyd. What is it?
Oh, you talking about the Sharon fraud?
Oh, Sharon fraud.
Yeah, that's the way I think. So I can remember what it is. Is Sharon's a fraud? Sharon fraud, and it means that I like you in your misery. I want to see you down. I'm the kind of person that want to kick you when you're down, and then they'll just step over you like it's no big deal. And those people are usually called like uh some kind of mentally ill person, like psychosis or something is wrong up in their head, that they don't find joy in anything. They don't even find joy in themselves. And then they want to take you down. Has that happened to you? I'm sure it has, because it happens to everybody, because everybody lie.
Yeah. I had a couple of Sharon frauds. I had a couple. That's the word I'm using. Sharon fraud. I had a couple of them right there. I did. I had a couple of, what I'm saying? Because, when I had to take a hiatus because of medical situation. Mm-hmm. And when I disappeared, when I did come back, everybody was like, man, I thought you died. They said you died. They said you was on crack. They said you was skinny. And I said, wow, for real? Well, who was they? Because I'd like to know who they was so I can confront they with this Sharon fraud.
And they'll never want to tell you. They won't say, and then some people will tell I was talking to Henry on a job the other day, and you know what he said about so and so and such and such. And I'm like, you're a grown person, and this is going to sit up spreading rumors about somebody else, or they be spreading rumors about themselves and using somebody else. Well, I had heard, who did you hear?
Right, Mrs. Jenkins. Mrs. Jenkins, the lady in the neighborhood that just, you can see her curtain go back, but you can't see her because she's standing back looking out the window. You know who you is.
And then, wait a minute, and can give detail. See, one of my great aunts was that woman behind the curtain, and you knew she was there because the curtain be moving, and knew everybody's business on the whole block. If you wanted to know who was sleeping with who was somebody real baby daddy, all you had to do is go to my great aunt, God rest her soul. She knew everybody's beeswax. And
Right.
don't let her hear stuff. Because you know how you ever play that game called the whispering game or gossip. That's what it's called, gossip. And say it's like it could even be three people in the circle, and one person tells something in one person's ear, and then they tell it to the second person. And by the time they get back to the first person, it's a different story. They done added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided what somebody said. And
Oh
then
yeah.
how do you deal with that when somebody
I,
is
I don't. I don't deal with it because it's happening now. We don't even have to whisper. We can just be on the phone and say something to somebody, and somebody else will repeat it. When you ain't on the phone and be like, "That ain't what I said. That ain't what I said. I said nothing like that." Yeah, Keisha.
and then
I'm
you
just saying.
and then you're left to clean up the mess. And that
Right.
and it becomes difficult for people to and it I've seen rumors and lies and innuendo tear up relationships, break up families, and will stand by it. I'm gonna stand by this, and to the day I die, I'm gonna tell this lie. And then you find out they were just lying.
You
You know,
said you said in the window.
in
In the in the window. You
in
said in the window. Yeah, because
innuendo.
that's where they be at, in the window.
In,
That's where they be at, in the window. That's all I wanted to say. In the window and
the
in the window is the same word. In the window, it's the same word. In the window.
same
Okay.
one that's like to see the Shaharan Freud on there. And they will come out, see. And I was really close to becoming that person. And kind
What?
of where I was that person that knew
Oh,
a lot of people's business. And there would be, and it's always somebody in the neighborhood. I don't know why they get these people on camera. They got two teeth in the top of their head and one in the back, and they just doing the thing, and they telling you the whole story, giving you detail by detail. And you were like, she could have been doing something else with her time. I mean, she knew detail. I remember a guy got shot when we lived in the projects. He was shooting at us, and he missed us and hit the tree. And so, but he started running around. We thought he was shooting at us, but he was shooting at the FBI. They had been chasing this cat all through the neighborhood. And she
wow.
came out, she said, I seen them. I seen them. He ran right past here, right past the Baskin and Robinson. And I was like, okay, what's a Baskin and Robinson?
But my thing is, why is they tell? This is the crazy part. You'll tell the news reporters, but you won't tell the police the same story. Like, why is you telling the news the story, but you won't tell the police the story? I
But
don't. Okay.
see, because the police are not going to put you on camera, and she going to get put on camera, and they're going to run that loop until it wears out. Now, when the FBI came up, because some of them kept chasing him, and some of them stopped to make sure that we were okay, and ask us what did we see, and she was right there, and it's on the tree line. I think I'm running. I said, what's the Baskin and Robinson? And she said, the ice cream store. I said, oh, Baskin and Robbins. See, a lot of times you have to decipher the verbiage
Right.
that people are giving you, because a lot of neighborhoods we have our own way of speaking and our own way of communicating with each other, and oftentimes that's with lies. What is one of the biggest lies somebody besides you being dead? Because they killed me and my husband off in a car accident
Right.
like twice. And people, I'm like, oh, that's the only reason why y'all calling me to see if we all right. Girl, yeah, because we heard online. That's what they told me. We found it out online that you and him was in a bad car accident, and they didn't know if y'all was gonna make it or not. And I was like, honey, were you in an accident lately?
See, I'm petty enough. I'm just petty enough because if you don't know me, I am Mr. Petty. I am petty enough that if you called and said that I was dead, I'd be like, hey, you know what? This is long distance. You calling me, and I'm in heaven right now. Can I call you back right now? Let me call you back because it's long distance, and I don't want you to be paying for this phone call since I'm dead already. Like, jeez. Okay.
And I know how bad that can be. And I've asked God for forgiveness because I had killed our Pat Benatar. I don't know why I thought that woman was off the planet. Then I had to go do my research, and I was like, Lord, please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kill our Pat Benatar. She wasn't dead. And then
Right.
this is another one. This is another one. When you think they're alive and they dead already. We were
Oh
talking.
yeah.
We were talking. What was the guy's name you were telling me about?
Who?
Uh, the rapper.
Oh, big. Yeah. What? It wasn't him. It was a Big Mike, but it wasn't him. It was Killer Mike is his name, but it wasn't him.
It wasn't
But
Killer.
yeah. But I had thought it was him,
Uh-huh.
and I just killed him off for no reason. For no reason, like no reason. So I apologize for but it was only said between me and Mother Love. So nobody, well, now y'all heard it. But now they heard it. Now they heard it. So
now they know.
Yeah,
now they know what we really do.
Right, we done messed up. I reneged. This is Spades.
This is the one that just really just gets stuck in my craw. These lies about these parental lies that people tell their children. Oh no, Jim Bob, that's your daddy. That's your dad. But Mama, how come I don't look like none of my other brothers and sisters? Well, I don't know, baby. I don't know. That's just how you came out. Then you find out later on her deathbed that you were right. You're having your suspicion that your father was not your biological father. And
right.
You think I think sometimes it all depends on the I guess the situation. I just don't think it's right that people could tell lies or maybe don't tell a lie. But a lie of commission is just as a lie of omission
Right.
is just as bad as a lie of commission. I'm not gonna tell him those aren't his kids. And
but how many uncles do I got? How many brothers do you got, Mama? I'm trying to figure out how many, because everybody ain't my uncle. So I don't understand. It's Uncle James, Uncle Darnell, Uncle Lewis, Uncle David. It's too many uncles. How many? If I ask my grandmother, she gonna tell me how many kids she had, because you got a little too many brothers. Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's what it is. I mean, I've seen this guy we know. Oh my goodness, he had this. He was fooling around with this girl, and they were doing their thing, and she got pregnant. And she came and told him, she was pregnant. She wanted to have the baby. He was all cool with it and they had no problem. Everybody was like over the moon, Oh my goodness, he actually gonna, settle down and be a dad, and everybody was all excited. He done took care of this child for the majority of her adolescent life, from birth to like right when she was a preteen. And his family, everybody just totally embraced her. And you could have told me, if I hadn't heard it straight from their mouths, I wouldn't have believed it. So they, the little girl that's thriving, doing well, living in the lap of luxury. They were spoiling her rotten. She was the sweetest pie. So one day, the mother comes over and she says to the guy, she came to pick the daughter up, and she says, because they didn't live together. She says, "Oh, by the way, she's not your daughter. Her father just got out of jail. And you ain't gonna see her no more."
First of all, here goes first of all.
See,
first of all, the only response that would have came out of my mouth was a week later. And the reason why it would have been a week later, the reason it would have been a week later, because all you would have heard the rumors in the hood, like, man, I don't know what happened to Keisha in them house. All of a sudden, and I'm not an advocate for violence, but all of a sudden, that they house just caught on fire. I don't know. The police can't tell what happened to the fire. I'm not an advocate. Please understand, I'm not an advocate for violence, but I'm just saying.
See, and I understand. And sometimes you have to be restrained. I mean, when they told us, you would have thought that was Kennedy's child. I mean, I cut up so bad, I called her everything but a child of God. I had to ask God, please pull my tongue out the back of my head and put it in a knot, because don't let me get close to it. Don't, because you know how they say a crime of passion. Yeah, they'd had to take my hands from criminally around her throat.
Man, all I would have
How do
been
you
on.
even say that to somebody and just with no feeling, with no empathy for the family, no empathy for this guy who he is losing his child? Excuse me. and here's, I mean, just came in. Oh, I just want you to know. Oh, she into your daughter.
Hold
And
on. The
just
part that you
yeah,
said, the
just got
part
out
that
of
you
jail.
no, the part that you said, oh, like like she forgot something. Like, oh, by the way, let me like that ain't nothing
Oh
you
wait.
forget. Like, oh, by the way, let me tell you what? Okay, hold that thought while I go to this lawyer to give you this uh 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 I'm suing you for all the money I spent on this illegitimate child that wasn't mine.
I see. And now a lot of people gave him that advice. A lot of people, he talked to several attorneys, and they gave him that advice because he was taking care of her fraudulently on a lie that this woman told him for the first 10, 12 years of her life that this is her father, this your daddy, these your
Ooh.
these your aunts and uncles, these your grandfather, this your daddy's side of the family. And now you just take this. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what that did to that child, that she was snatched away like that. And you know, see me, we'd have still been in court, but she probably about 35 now. I don't know how old the child is. But I mean, to tell her somebody that lie for that long, to be able to look somebody in the face and say, oh, this is true. This is real. I'm telling you, this is your child, or this is not your child. You know,
Man.
and the killer part about it, he never questioned his paternity. He never questioned it. He never said, I want to go get a DNA test. He never doubted that that was his child. You know, he just took it all in, hook, line, and sinker, baby, and emotions and the whole nine, and have that all ripped from you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That see, that's right there, right there. As soon as he said that, you know, me and my pettiness and everything else, but in my legitimacy of everything else, I would be like, oh, okay, that's not my daughter. Okay, okay, cool. Okay, I get it. All right. Now I know I'm pissed off, and I'll be like, so she's still coming over for the weekend, and she'd be like, yeah, she's still coming over, and I'll be like, that's the last time you'll see her.
You
Because if you told me that, I'm telling her, I'm taking her to the house, explaining to her what the situation is, and I'm filing for custody.
oh,
And if if you got something to say, then pay me back all the money I spent on this illegitimate child. And I
children are
don't mean to
not
hold it.
illegitimate.
Yeah, I don't want to hold the child for ransom. But if you said it was my daughter, then she gonna be my daughter. She gonna be my daughter.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. There ain't nothing else you can say to me. You can talk to my lawyer. You don't need to talk to me.
And you can see her on what is it, visitation day.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just really, really horrible. And I had this was another lie. This is about paternity. So this chick we went to college with, okay, she was kind of loose, you know what they call loose women. You know, she was out there. She was like a doorknob. Everybody was taking a turn. So she decided. She said she was pregnant, and she went and told 4 different fellas that she was pregnant by them, because she's thinking nobody's going to say anything, to any of these guys. They're not. There's
Right.
no way for them
Oh
to be
wow.
connected. So some kind of see, you know what? That's what you get when you lie on people. You lie behind their back. She done told 4 different guys she was pregnant by them, and they're like, "Well, I was with her. Maybe that could be right." Oh, and she thought that another Shaharan fraud. She thought that was the cutest thing. Oh, isn't that cute? They all think I'm pregnant by them. I'm like, you girl, you might come up missing. Some of these, I don't think that's a game you need to be playing. Well, 2 of the guys found out. 2 of the unlikeliest to find out. They found out, and then other people start putting 2 and 2 together, and they start putting 2
Oof.
together, and
Wow.
the whole thing came out. And so she ended up having to leave school because
Wow.
she said, I felt like my life was threatened. So what? I told each one of them a little white lie. I was pregnant with
What?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Like, this is
Nah.
what, and this is how, and they seem to have gotten even, more despicable. I mean, they got this thing on online called catfishing, where you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, and then you go on, and they said that catfishing is has a lot to do with pedophilia, because they're
Right.
pretending to be, 14-year-old boys. What 14-year-old boy can invite a 13-year-old girl to a grown-up restaurant on a date? You gonna show up on a big wheel or a bike? Really?
Yeah, I don't know, because these kids come out with a full mustache and everything. So I don't know what the hell is going on. These kids have a full beard and must. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. When you was talking about that, see, I'm telling you what the reinforcement is behind that too, which is bull crap to me. You said about the child. You find out the child ain't yours, and you upset. But then I get mad when the mamas put the person's name on the birth certificate, and that ain't the child's, father, and child support make them pay anyway.
Anyway.
Like, now, how does that work? If it's not my child, but my name's on the birth certificate, how do I still got to pay for this child?
Till they're 18 years old.
No, until they die. You might as well say, because you're going to be paying for everything else after that.
I don't understand how that one works.
Yeah, I don't get that. That's wrong. I think that's wrong.
I don't get that. I mean, and I know some people who have done some unscrupulous and was involved in all kind of skullduggery and just shake it off their back. It's like a water off a duck's back. Like there's no consequences for it. And then they think, oh, maybe 5 years down the line, some crap happened to their life, and they don't. I don't understand why everything in my life was going wrong. Karma, what they say, karma is a witch with a capital B.
And yeah. And this is the thing. Women say, okay, you can say, that's my baby, and I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say that because I know you pregnant. We've been messing around. But what happened if a man had came in and said, that wasn't me sleeping with you in the bed, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the lights was out. You didn't know that was me. That wasn't me sleeping in the bed with. I'm just saying. If you can say it so loosely, like, that ain't your kid, well, that wasn't me sleeping in the bed with.
I wasn't there. Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was somebody.
Who you gonna believe? Me or your lying eyes?
Right. What? Like, what? I don't get it, Keisha.
And this is not against any of the Keishas in the world. It's just
right.
We love our Keishas.
Don't take it personal.
Pumpkin. We love all of them. We love Peaches. We love all of y'all.
Right. This is just the one I know.
All of us got one person. Right. Remember the movie? Was it Friday when the guys were sitting on the porch and the girl came by and she wanted something for crack and they said, "Bye, Felicia," and that me.
She broke it down. It was like, Craig, let me borrow your VCR. He was like, what? No, you borrow milk and sugar. You not borrow, like, who borrows a VCR? Like, I don't get it. I don't.
And they could ask you for some strange stuff. And one of the things that I found out, besides in interpersonal relationships and in marriages, about people lying and cheating and getting somebody else in trouble, a big thing has come. Well, I'm sure it's probably always been there. Teachers get a raw deal because if they get the kids get a bad grade or the parents don't like them or whatever, then they'll start rumors on the teacher.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. And I know teachers, but you know what? People just had to realize these teachers are not superheroes. They're not special, and what I'm saying by that meaning they're people,
right?
And they do the same thing. They lie, they tell, because it's unfortunately that some of these teachers out here are envious of some of the students.
Oh, yes.
And you wouldn't even believe that. A lot of people wouldn't even believe it.
Oh, I've heard the teachers and the administrators say, she in the 10th grade. What they buy her a $500 pocketbook for? I'm like, that's their money. Why are you complaining about what they're doing? Why are you trying to be in somebody else's pocket? To tell them.
Right. Or you not smarter than the teacher, but just as smart as the teacher.
Or smarter sometimes. And I've had teachers say that to me when I was going to school, from elementary to junior high. And I'm like, nope, I'm not smarter than the teacher. I just catch on really fast. And I was really good I did really well in school. And so I didn't have anything. I loved all of my teachers, well, except for my typing teacher. And he really wasn't my typing teacher. He was a typing teacher. I listen, and I told him I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing about this at all. You got to tell an adult what he's done to you. I had left my social studies book up in the classroom, and so I went, and class had already let out. So I ran back in. I couldn't have been out the building 5 minutes, but how you could vacate school in like 2 seconds.
Right.
5 minutes, they'd have walked all the way home.
Right. I'm already at home.
At home eating the Pop-Tart. What?
Yeah, school just let out. No, it did. I was out.
I walked back. And so I went to get my social studies book, and I just went in. I got it out. I got out my desk. I didn't even see them at first. And when I turned around to walk out, this grown man has one of my classmates. We were in the 9th grade. He has one of my classmates up against the wall, and he is having coitus with her. This is a child, an adult. And I turned around, and he heard me gasp, and she did too. And I was like, like I couldn't breathe, like I couldn't believe it. I'm looking up this teacher. Something. I ran, and she turned her head toward me because he had turned his head toward me and trying to give me like the like, I'm gonna stare you down. Look, you next or whatever. And she turned her head to me, and she was like, put her finger up to her mouth, like, shh, don't say anything. And I walked out the room. Actually, I ran out the room, ran down the stairs, went to the girls' bathroom, and I had to literally soak my face in water, and my shirt was wet. I was just outdone. So I said, if you don't tell, I am. So I left it alone, come back to school the next day. See, I should have knew something was wrong because I wore a blouse. My mama told me don't wear of her. She had just got it too. She didn't even have a chance to wear it. She probably beat my butt. Well, she did beat my butt for the her shirt getting torn. But she was ticked off. Oh, she was ticked off. This guy comes up to me. I'm sitting on the front row in the auditorium in the school and study hall. He walks over with a stick. Well, I'm gonna say about maybe a little longer than a foot, shorter than a yard, and it's literally a piece of thin wood. He comes over, and kids leave stuff on the floor, and I'm not paying him any attention. I don't look up. He comes over to me and he slams the stick down next to my armchair, and he said, "Pick that up." I ignored it. He said, "I said pick that up." I said, "I'm not picking it up. I didn't put it there." He said, "What did you say?" He slapped me upside the head with the stick. I grabbed my head. He pulled my hand down, twisted my arm, threw me out the chair, started beating on me, knocking on me, punching on me. He didn't have a tie clip. I started pulling myself up on his tie, and he was telling me, "You trying to kill me." The boys in the auditorium, they didn't know what the heck was going on. They started jumping over the seats. It took 3 of them to get him off of me, and it was like, run, run, run. And I was trying to crawl away from him in some kind of way. He got away from them long enough. I was crawling up the little 2 steps to get in the hallway. He comes in, he get away from them, and some kind of way he picked his foot up, T. He picked his foot up and kicked me in my behind with the heel of his foot.
Oh, damn.
I got blood running out my mouth. My hand is all swollen up. My shirt is torn. And when he kicked me, I hit the brick. And I had to have 16 stitches up under my chin, and blood was everywhere. I go to the assistant principal, and she see I'm in complete disarray. And she said, "I don't know what you've been doing, but you just sit over there on the bench." I'm like, "I'm bleeding all over myself." What? I left the school. I walked out the school, which you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
My uncle happened to live right behind the school. I make it to the school, and people was, seeing me out the window. And my uncle, I knocked on the door, and when my uncle opened up the door, I just collapsed in his arms. He called my auntie. He said, "Call her mama. I'm taking her to the emergency room." Called my mama off her job. My mother was there. In an instant, she came back, took me home, and she said, on the way home, "What happened?" I said, "Mama, he just jumped on me and beat me up because I saw him having sex with my classmate." She said, "Oh, okay. Now tell that to me again. Now, when you're telling the truth, you don't have to be looking around for where to put the lie in." I told her again.
Right, right. You don't have to.
You
Yeah.
don't have to. My mother said, "If I got to come up to your school, I'm just wiping off sweat or wiped off my face." And so I get so comfortable with my face out here in the cyber world. I almost took my hair off. Look, I just what the kids say. I just have to keep it 100. So
This is being brought to you by
the makeup people on the motherland
right.
and don't have any on her right eye anymore. Glasses.
Keeping it 100.
So we go back to my mother takes me to school the next day.
Right, right.
So I'm sitting on the bench, where the principal, right outside the principal's office. The vice principal, the girls principal, she called the teacher down to her office because my mother told her what happened, what I said. She called him down to the office. So I can see the principal's face and I can see half of the teacher's face on the left and half of my mother's face on the right. And that's the view I had. Well, my mother said, "Well, I'd like to hear what you have to say." And he said he opened up his mouth and came the wrong way to my mama. Let me tell you something. He said, first thing he said, oh, you that helpless mama. Whoa.
Oh yeah, well, okay. All right.
He used to be an attractive guy. Black guy.
Right.
Thick mustache. He was complete. I had never seen a young guy with a completely shaven head. Dressed real nice, He was a pedophile. I don't care how pretty they look. A pedophile is a pedophile. So when he came out and said, "Well, that's the heifer," that my mother took a hammer out of her purse, and she's right hand. He's a southpaw. My mother took a hammer out of her pocketbook, and it was so fast it wasn't even funny. She capped him on both knees, bam, bam, with the hammer. He grabbed his knees. She bam, bam, bam on his head. He grabbed his head. She got his hand. I mean, he had knots everywhere. The principal, she done hid up under her desk.
Oh, damn. Damn.
Under her desk. So my mother went and filed a police report about me being assaulted by a teacher at the school. I don't know what happened to him, but they made me transfer to another school, and I didn't get to graduate with the kids I had been going to school with all of our lives. And that really jacked me up, for a long time. And I was like, and I knew I was supposed to say something. She didn't say anything, but when my mother saw the way that I looked, she wanted to know what happened. You talking about retribution. My mother did not play. And they had me transferred out of the school because she said this is not a safe environment for my child. And they said the rumor was, I don't know if it was the truth. The rumor behind that whole episode, because it went through the whole school. It was the whole neighborhood. It was 15 different stories. Some people had my mother coming into school and pistol whipping them. And it was a hammer.
Like what? Was this Clint Eastwood? Because I'm not understanding what happened at all. Got all these different stories. Yeah, she flew in through the window and she just started. What? She flew in through the window. Oh Lord.
They had her beating the teacher with. He was pistol whipped, and the principal was beat with a hammer. Now the principal was light bright. Everybody thought she was white until she opened up her mouth, and you knew she was one of. She was real light. She could have passed for white, and she was up under they had my mama to beat the principal with the hammer. She pistol whipped the teacher. She came to the auditorium. It was all kind of different stories.
They probably had her tying them up, put them in the auditorium. They was tied to the chair and everything. Like, what?
We gonna flog you. We want you to know what it feel like to get a piece of wood slapped upside of your head.
Your mother did the waterboarding. She was waterboarding the teacher.
I don't know how that guy. I never saw him again. Never saw him again ever in my life.
Oh wow!
Never saw him again, and that was good. And sometimes the lies will come back up on you when you don't know what's going on, and when you're lying on somebody. I remember when I was a little kid. I'm just a little 5 or 6 year old girl. coming from Sunday school. The maintenance man, we called him the maintenance man. The maintenance man was down in the basement, and you could see, you know how you could see through some of the stairs, and you could see up and down.
Right.
Okay. Well, he saw me coming in the door, and he said, "Oh, baby, come down here. Your mama wants you to come down here and take a couple of these pieces upstairs to her." I said, "Okay." I had no reason to think about that. And so I'm walking down the stairs. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but this is what happened when lies and innuendo. I'm walking down the stairs.
In the window.
In the window. Walking down the stairs. And back then, little girls, we didn't wear pants and shorts unless you was in gym class. So I got my little church going dress, my black patent of the shoes, my petticoat. I'm coming down the stairs. This man put his hand up under my dress. I went to screaming bloody murder. I ran up the stairs. When I thought, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this to me." And I ran up the stairs and I'm just screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm screaming for my daddy." And I was a daddy's girl. I get up the stairs. He's like, "Baby, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "The maintenance man, he was touching on me, Daddy. He was touching on my panty." My daddy said, to call my mom, he said, "Get this baby together, calm her down." Next thing we heard, he's screaming down in the basement. That's the maintenance man. My father kicking his behind 7 ways to Sunday. Whooped him. We didn't see him anymore. Next time I take that back. Next time I saw him, I was an adult. And I recognized who he had the nerve to become a minister.
Hey, you need to after that. After that, you need to. You probably got the most butt whooping he ever had in his life. If it don't make you see the Lord, then I don't know what will.
I mean, but for people to, and then they tell kids the lie. This is just our little secret. Don't you tell anybody. I'm telling everybody. Are you insane? What you're doing is wrong. And when I learned what a pedophile was, they didn't know what it was. They did. When I'm calling them pedophile, they don't even know what that was. They thought it had to do with like kids' tennis shoes. I'm like, these ignorant son of a biscuit eaters. Yeah, somebody need to call them out. And there's so many people that unfortunately have had to go through their journey in life and continue to go through their journey in life with these lies and rumors and innuendo.
Oh yeah, because a lie. That lie and I'm telling you, the worst lie there is. To accuse somebody of being a pedophile and they not. It ain't nothing you could do to erase that from nobody's mind. You may not be you because let's don't sit up here and sugarcoat it. Some people lie, because they don't like that person or they don't they don't respect that person, so they'll lie and say they did such and such, and they didn't. But now you done ruined their life for years.
And you gotta be on the sex offender list.
Yeah. And you really ain't do none of that. You trying to explain, but it's just the world shuns on that automatically that you're a pedophile. So anybody that even says something close to that, that's what you are. And there's a lot of people accused of being a pedophile that ain't.
Right.
That's horrible.
That's awful. And then how do you even clean that up? That's bad. And the one when you talked about this before, you said they come to you and you've been paying child support and taking care of this baby, and you put your name on the birth certificate, and then you find out this is not your child, but you still have to pay child support.
Listen, one of my friends paid child support on this baby. Now they older. He got a lot older. I think we was probably, I don't know. I think he was like maybe, I'm gonna just say he was probably about maybe 40. I'm gonna just say maybe he was 40. I don't remember how old, because I know he was older than me. But he was older than me, but I used to, we used to hang out because he was just a cool person. And his daughter, turned 18, and he been around. The mother came when he was, I think he was 39, turning 40, and said, such and such ain't your daughter, right? I'm talking about after he been paying his child support, this child have been in his life, you know what I'm saying? Like everything. And she said, that ain't your daughter. And he did, the daughter and him stayed in touch, but the mama was mud all day. Her daughter didn't even want to have nothing to do with her.
Now, that's when you know it's bad. And the one thing that I tell young people, I have a young person in my life whom I love very, very much. And he is going through hell. With gasoline underwear on, he used to tell us all the time that he only wanted to date older women. And we're like, well, what's your affinity with older women? He said, well, I don't want to have any kids. So, and I want a woman who is past her childbearing age, even though I don't know what that means.
Right. What does that mean?
What's that mean? You know, and he said, I didn't want any kids. I said, well, then why don't you, get a vasectomy, make sure you have a
right
supply of condoms. And so he said, I ain't gonna be fooling around with nobody like that. I want to make sure she ain't having no more babies. I want to make sure, I don't care if she got grown kids. He was dating this one woman. I mean, she treated him like a king. And he was just such a butthole to her. And I told him, I said, this is the reason why you can find good women, but you don't keep them because you think, okay, it's somebody else over there. And this is what you're going to get. Because you keep putting garbage in, you're going to get garbage out because you don't think that you're worthy of being with somebody,
Wow.
committed. So anyway, he was fooling around with this older woman. She had I think her daughter was maybe 20. And her mother is like 42. And he was like, okay, she's not having no more kids. And then come to find out, the daughter was trying to push up on him because she kept telling him, my mother too old for you. You need to stick with somebody like me. And I'm like, okay, that was a hot mess.
Yeah, that's a hot mess.
That was a hot mess. And so anyway, come to find out, some chick he was fooling around with, she got pregnant. She already had 3 kids or 4. I don't know. She had a fleet of them. It's not a fleet. Well, she had a bunch of children. So children. She done had so many children. They're not even children anymore. They're cheering because you're just cheering. You turn it up. Just like mopping up down with butter. You just turn them. So she gets pregnant, and he was like, and she doesn't tell him she's pregnant. She went through the whole pregnancy. He came over one day to see how she was doing, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, that's your son right there." I mean, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, what do you say?
He said, when did we make that baby? He was like, oh, about a year ago. Because how old that bro? 2-3 months ago. He was just devastated. I said, well, didn't I suggest you go get a basket? Well, I don't want to do that. Well, okay, this is what you get. Okay, so he doing his thing. He's a single parent, and she got 11 kids. So he meets this other chick. She got 2 kids. She got 2 kids, and she sees him here. What the girl said, he a tall drink of water, or a big chocolate bar, whatever they say. Handsome fella, got his own business, doing really, really well. She was like, okay, I'm gonna get that guy right there. I'm gonna make him fall in lust with me and woo-ta-ta-ta. Well, they lusted enough that they had a whole bunch of more kids. I guess one day she was just tired of having all them kids with her.
What?
Yeah.
But you didn't. But he could have ended all that by just getting a snip, clip.
That's it. 2 snips. So one day, I guess, like I said, she got tired of dealing with having them kids, and she got to deal with all them, and and she got the older kids. They self-sufficient pretty much. They don't have to have a babysitter or anybody watching none of that. So. She just 2 of them are in diapers, and one of them is a toddler, and she just decided she was tired of them kids. She bring them down. The 2 of the kids were in diapers. They had no clothes on, no shoes on. They had a diaper. She had went to his job to drop them off with him. Well, he happened to not be there. He was on a supply run or whatever he was doing. He wasn't there.
Right.
She said, well, these are his kids, and just tell them, I don't want to be bothered with them. And left them in the barbershop full of men.
What? What do you say to that? What do you say?
I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I feel really bad for him, and he's been going through like I said, he's just been really, really going through. But you got to be careful. And fellas, I tell our son, I told him he thought it was just he's gonna be so mad at me. But when he was a teenager and went away to college, I would send him a care package with a big case of condoms. He was like, Mom, ain't nobody having that much sex where I need that many condoms. I said, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. I don't want you coming up here with a oops baby. Oops, I'm pregnant. Oops, it's your baby. Oops, it's not your baby. And people, y'all got this, and I know sometimes people think, oh, well, I'll just tell a little what. That's what the chick told the four guys when we was in college. She said, well, I just told each one of them a little white lie. I was pregnant with one of their babies. Somebody was going to be right. Come to find out that this chick, I almost called her name.
Yeah.
She wasn't even pregnant. And maybe you sit up and you think about ways to manipulate and maneuver and get around people and just keep lying on people and just calm down. Some things you don't need to do. And lie.
Right. One of my friends' uncles, one of my friend uncles told us a story. I just didn't want to believe it. He told us a story, and it was like, okay, so he said when he was younger, he said when he was younger, he had went to somewhere. He was working at some factory, and he got hurt, like permanently hurt. I'm talking about in the genitalia area.
Oh,
they said it wasn't.
Wait a minute, did you call it the genitalia?
Yeah, genitalia. And he was. I just had to break it down like that for the scientific people that was listening. Okay. So he got hurt permanent. Like the doctor told him he would never. It ain't even a miracle that can happen to you. You just not gonna have no kids, like at all. You can forget it. Don't think about it. It ain't gonna never happen. So he said, all right. He got older, got with this lady, he got a little older, because I think he was maybe 20. I think he said he got 30 or 35, something like that. He got older, and he hooked up with a girl. And, they dealing with each other, having sex, doing all that stuff. Then he said she came up pregnant. Now, he got proof. He keeps his paperwork with him. He said, I kept my paperwork and all that because I got to keep it with me. You know what I'm saying? That's just a medical thing that he just thought he needed to keep with him anyway. So he kept it. He said she came to him and said, well, I know you ain't want no kids or whatever, but I'm pregnant. And he said, he said, and that's why I said I just didn't know if it was real or not. He said he looked her in the face and said, "Oh, that's good. And who is the father?"
That's what she did.
But this the mother love, you don't understand. That's where the story ended. He didn't never finish the story. He never finished the story. He just got to that part and said, "That's good. And who the father?"
What else is he gonna say? What else is he going to say? I'm not right. Listen, I got a permanent vasectomy, and it was not not something I wanted to do. And I was a young man. And now you gonna come back and tell me you pregnant and ain't by me.
And we used to ask him all the time. He said, and I swear, he would say the same thing. He said, I told you the story. I said, but you didn't finish. He said, no, I told you the story.
That was it.
I said, well, what happened then? He was like, that's the end of the story. It ain't no, did y'all get together? Did you what happened? He was like, I told you. That's the end of the story. He would never go into the story again. He said, that's it.
That's it. That's all. Ain't no more. It's the wrap. I want to talk about this subject just a little bit because it seems to really be getting out of hand. Wow. And that is these gender reveal parties that they have, and they sending up clouds and pink balloons or blue balloons and making big giant cakes and, spinning. One of the young women that I know wanted to have a gender reveal party. And so she's an excellent planner. Oh my God, she is wonderful. So she wanted to have a gender reveal party. And my question was, Well, why would you need to spend all that money, to tell you whether you having a boy or a girl? Well, we want to make sure we get the right stuff for the nursery. Okay, but listen, they only come in one way. They come in male and female. That's the only way that babies. It's not you. You got a 50 shot there, right? Okay, so you can spend $1,500, feed a bunch of people, get them drunk, and your cousin June and Missy over there, they gonna get the arguing. Then we gonna have to call the popo because they ain't gonna act like they're gonna and they're gonna steal some of the liquor. Why do you have liquor at a baby shower or at a gender reveal party when you're gonna do it?
Because people don't want to believe that you really is having a baby with whoever you having a baby with.
Oh, is that the underlying? These are husbands and wives, and they have the gender reveal party, and I just didn't understand the concept of it. And they've gotten really out of hand. People have died at gender reveal parties. I mean,
huh?
Yeah, they have. Yes, people have lost.
Wait a minute. How you die at a gender reveal? Okay, I just can't even say it because it don't even sound right. How do you die?
I googled it, and they said it's causing people injuries and death. And I read someplace that one of the grandmothers got hit with something flying and killed her instantly.
What is they throwing stuff at the party?
I don't know what it was. They said some kind of projectile, but I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But they're doing it, and so I wanted to know who came up with this brilliant idea, and it just took on a life of its own. It's a young lady from Los Angeles. She came up with the gender reveal party, and she showed it on the social media, and it just took on a life of its own. And they're just spitting up money. I mean, I'm sure the party planners are sucking it up with a flavor straw, but I just don't understand.
But can't you just okay? Let me just simplify this. Instead of me, yeah, okay, it's good. I know everybody want to not be surprised and save their money and get what they need for the baby and all that. But can't I just get white or beige? Ain't that a neutral color?
You would
that don't say boy or girl
or green or green. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I still to this day don't understand why men think they're too manly to wear pink. I thought I was gonna I really thought I was gonna have to, jump up on that chandelier off the pole again. Because when I asked my husband to wear a pink shirt to one of his friends' daughter was getting married, and she was asking all of the family to dress in the colors of the wedding. So he was like, "Well, I ain't putting on no pink shirt." I'm like, "It's a pink shirt. What is the big deal? It's pink." I'm like, "But I don't get, honey, you look good in bright color." I'm not putting on no pink shirt. I'm like, we on the plane. I'm like, it's no big deal, honey. You gonna have what is the big deal? So fine, we get to the hotel. We unpack. We finally get to the wedding, and he was fit to be tired because he did not want to wear a pink shirt. Now,
I don't see what's wrong.
And there's a color scheme. If anybody wants to know if a guy is if he's gay. This was on my gaydar, and it really doesn't work because a lot of gay men don't do the whole gay men thing well. One of my friends, one of my dearest friends, he dressed like he just walked out. I mean, if he has to put on a suit, oh my God. It's like, can I just put on a t-shirt and some tennis shoes and wear my jeans? I'm like, why are you talking to your teeth like that? I don't have on no suit. I'm like, but you look good in a suit. I'm like, I just don't get it. And he doesn't have that. You know how some guys could say, I'll hold up a color and I'll say, what color is this? He'll say pink and I'll go, no, that's salmon. He said, well, I don't know from salmon. and it's different. But when it's salmon or it's sky blue or it's teal, it's maroon.
I got a question to ask. Because you just said something that we was having a debate about. Is it wrong for people to say salmon or salmon? I'm not understanding why is there any difficulty in it.
If you say it like it's spelled, it's salmon.
But why do people get upset when people say that?
What, call it salmon?
Yeah.
Because they don't know any difference. It's like people call the radiator an aerator. I'm like, what the heck is an aerator?
Or a refrigerator?
A frigidaire.
A refrigerator? A refrigerator.
Forget about the read. It's just a refrigerator. I mean, we make up our. I said this earlier. In different communities, we have our own language. We have our own way of speaking with each other, and oftentimes, especially in our community, when we have we have so many professionals, and we have to switch off. You know, you can be around your girls, you can be around your fellas, and you can speak like you want to speak. And, you know, we understand that language in the community. When you go into the world, you have to be able to have command of whatever language you're speaking. And we were taught when we were kids, growing up, you don't get to dismantle the English language until you've mastered it. So we were not allowed to say ain't. I ain't got no. We had to. But who? Everybody say I ain't got no money.
Right.
Everybody say I ain't got no money. Right. Money. I ain't got no money.
Because that's because they laxadory.
Laxadorical.
That's laxadory.
It's laxadory and laxadorical. See,
and laxadaisy.
And laxadaisy. We got it all. But I have never understood. That's another thing I don't understand. Destination weddings. Why you want people to spend $4,000 to come to your wedding in Hawaii? You live in New Jersey, and then y'all on the beach getting married, and then you ticked off because they did not bring you a present.
Well, can I just bring can I just bring the present to when y'all get divorced? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to spend all that money to go to Hawaii. Then y'all ain't stay together long enough. I could have just went to the divorce party. This would have been easier. It just would have been easier. Like, y'all ain't gonna be together. Like
this chick I worked with a long time ago. That was the first time I'd ever heard of a destination wedding, and so they went all out. I mean, they went all out for this destination wedding. Her parents flew in all her bridesmaids, wherever they had to come in from.
Ooh.
They spared no expense. After they had the wedding, went to the honeymoon, it was all lovely. They're coming back, you know. So when they come back from the honeymoon, she's pregnant. So he kind of got a little salty because he's like, well, when we gonna get to spend us some time together? Because he didn't feel like they had done what they needed to do before they start having kids. Okay, well, after the baby was born, you know, she started having postpartum depression. You know, she didn't want to do anything. You know, she couldn't take care of the baby. It was really, really sad. I felt really, really bad for her, you know, because she got into this funk. And, you know, they said babies are supposed to be a rejoicing joy in your life.
Right.
I've seen it take down a lot of new mothers. Well, make a long story short, they weren't married 3 years. They were not married for 3 years. They got married in August, I think. And by the June of the year they would have been married 3 years, they were divorced.
Wow.
Her daddy said, her mother speaks to her. I don't know if her daddy still is speaking to her again, but he said, I don't have anything to say to you. I am so disappointed. You know, I'm like, she's already going through a hard time. You know, well, by this time she had got herself together, you know, but to have to go through that and spend all that money, you know, and I know from experience, you know, you don't have to spend all that money on these weddings anymore. You know, and a lot of people are not even opting for weddings. I was reading this. We're going to talk about this too. Millennials and how they are looking, how they look at us and the baby boomers. And they're like, no, we'd be nothing like y'all. And they see, that's another word we couldn't say when we were growing up. You couldn't say y'all. You had to say you.
Right.
Y'all.
But if this is my thing, is it inappropriate? You can tell me if it's inappropriate to ask for your gift back after they got divorced.
Yes, that's tacky.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know because I mean, like y'all didn't even use it. I need to get it back. Like I could.
No, you don't get your wedding gift.
I think I should be able to get my wedding gift back because y'all didn't honor y'all contract, and this was a contract. I had to go sign up for a registry and all that. No, I think I should get my money back. I'm suing Keisha. I don't care about that. I don't care.
See, that's terrible. That is just something. Do I get my gift back? Y'all ain't married no more.
Right,
No.
y'all was 6 months or less. I should be able to get my gift back. I
No.
still got a 90-day warranty on it.
You're talking about petty. Oh, that's ready for Mr. Petty Freddy.
I got 2-year warranty on that. I need to get that back.
Jesus, take the wheel. See, this way you got to work with your people. You got to work with your people. Tell them, I love you too, but you was a sick.
No, I'm just saying though. I mean, I feel like that they didn't obligate their contract of being married. You're supposed to at least do a hot 10. You was less than 6 months. I think I should get that back. I got a 2-year warranty on this thing. So I think I should get the remaining money for this warranty.
No, and don't you go ask Keisha for her wedding. Don't ask her for that again.
I'm asking.
Don't ask I'm calling her right now. All right,
call
baby.
her.
We're gonna be here Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So y'all saw me sweat. I sweat over this microphone. I sweat over this keyboard. I sweat for you because I love you. Have a good one. Love, peace, and hair grease, babies.